All right, let's go. We've got three expressions we got to work with, so we're gonna just dive right in. Okay, so on this one, we do have a couple variables going on. We got a couple variables on this one, right? And so we're just gonna try by looking at, what you're looking for is you're looking for patterns, right? And so if I look at the way this one is grouped just as is, okay, I've got 2 and 15. And I've got 6 and 5. Okay, well, that doesn't really look super useful to me, right? Because this number pattern is completely different from that number pattern. And there's really no shared factors between this. So let's try regrouping this just by moving this one over here. Let's see what happens. If I go 6u squared over here, and now I'm going to be left with negative 15 plus 5. All right, well, there is some shared factors between 15 and 5, and there's some shared factors between 2 and 6. There's the 2 and also the u, right? And the 15 and the 5, they have 5. Now, the next thing we look at before we factor is we're like, okay, well, if it's going to make a pattern, and I'm going to wind up with the same thing in these parentheses, right, that we're going to get when we factor it by grouping, then I need to make sure that it makes sense the order it's in. So I have the smaller one over here. I've got 2 and I've got 6 and I've got 15 and 5. So I want you to look for things like that. And so if that's the case, let's rewrite this so that at least the order is ascending on the second pair of terms as it is in this one. So we're going to go plus 5v minus 15. And now you'll notice we've got the negative kind of in the same spot. This one goes up by a factor of 3. This one goes up by a factor of 3. Yeah, that looks good. I think we're gonna have luck with this. So we'll split this thing, right? And we're gonna do this first part. So we're gonna pull out a 2 out of both of these because 2 goes into both. And the other greatest common factor we can pull out of this is we can pull out a u squared. All right, so let's pull out u squared. And then the only thing left is v minus 3, right? V times that gives me 2u squared v, and then 3 times 2u squared gives me 6u squared. So now what I'm hoping for is I'm hoping that I'm going to get v minus 3 over here. That's what I'm hoping for. Okay, so let's see if it works. Well, what do I have to multiply by v to make it 5v? It would have to be 5. And if you think about it, that makes sense because 5 is the largest number I can pull out of both of these factors, right? And 5 times v, I want to make it positive, so this is going to have to be plus. And we're good because, oh, look at that. We've got the same thing, right? So we're going to have our v minus 3 out front. We're pulling that out. We're factoring that. And then what's left is the stuff on the sides kind of tacked together. So we got 2u squared plus 5. And you, my friend, are finished, right? V minus 3 times the quantity 2u squared plus 5. Okay, let's try this next one, all right? We could try it in this order, but it really doesn't look good. These are ascending, these are descending, so that's a no-no. And there's really no shared factor. So that's kind of what you're looking for is, do these first two terms have a shared factor? And the answer is no, they don't. Okay, so let's grab another term to group with for ab squared that has at least one shared factor. So let's mess around this time and let's use the 7a and let's see what happens. So let's go 4ab squared plus 7a. All right, cool. And now I'm going to add these other two terms, and these are all positive, so this one's kind of nice. So notice we're going up, right? We've got 4 and 7. So then I want these two to ascend and see if they're in the same proportion, right? So let's put it in ascending order. So we have 12b squared, and then we're going to move this plus 21 out to the fringe here. Okay? Now let's pull some stuff out and see what we get. Well, I can pull out an A. That's really about it, right? But it's something, right? And that's going to leave me with 4b squared because it's just what's left when you pull that A out, plus 7. Okay, well, I'm hoping when I factor whatever I can factor out of this that it's going to give me something like that. Well, 12 and 21 have a common shared factor of 3, right? Nothing else goes into 21 that goes into 12 other than 1. 2 doesn't go into 21. 3 goes into it, and we talked about that. 4 doesn't go into 21. 6 doesn't go into 21. And 12 doesn't go into 21. So 3 it is. And so what do I multiply by 3 to get 12? Well, 4. Bring your b squared down because we got to account for that. And then what do we multiply by 3 to get 21? We multiply 7. And look at that. We've got that shared factor we're looking for. Sweet. Pull it out front. Just like that. And then you're going to fill in the other one with this a plus 3. We're going to tack that together. Right in here. A plus 3. And boom, you are in good shape. All right, let's look at this last example here. Okay, so we've got 21 b to the 4th minus 3 ab to the 4th plus 4a minus 28. Well, on this one, there's a number of different ways we could do this one, right? I'm thinking 21 and 3. These two terms actually have 2 shared factors. They share 3, and they also share the b to the 4th term. So we could go with this and leave this order, but then when we look at this, we want this to also be in descending order like this one. The higher number is first and the lower number is second. So let's rewrite this. So we would have 21b to the 4th minus 3ab to the 4th, and then minus 28 plus 4a. Okay. The only thing I don't like about this is we don't have our mirrored minus signs, but let's see if we can work around that. Okay? So 21 and 3 share 3 as a common factor. And they also share this b to the 4th, which is nice because I don't like that. Let's get it out front, and then we're not worrying about it. All right, so we have 3b to the 4th, which looks suspiciously like 36 to the 4th. So I'm going to rewrite that. So we have 3b to the 4th power. Okay. So now what do I multiply that by to get it to be 21, which is 7. And then it's minus, well, I'm left with 3. The 3 is taken care of by this. b4th, the b4th is taken care of, so we just left with the a. Right? 7 minus a. All right, and then we have minus, okay. So I'm thinking about this, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm subtracting something here, right? And I know this is going to wind up being positive, this term. So it's going to be interesting to see how that works out. Well, 28 and 4 share 7. Or, I'm sorry, share 4 as a common factor. And that's it, because this doesn't have any variables. Right? So we got 4. What do you multiply by 4? Negative 4. To get negative 28, you multiply 7. And then we know that if we're going to get to 4a, right, we're going to have a over here. And we just got to, it's tempting to go like this, right? But the thing is, negative 4 times positive a gives me negative 4a. I want positive 4a, so I have to change the sign in here to a negative so that when we multiply it, we get that double negative acting, and that negative 4 times negative a. And the good thing about that is when I do that, it gives me that common factor. That, again, I can pull up front, go 7 minus a, and then put the stuff that's left in its own set of parentheses, put them together, times the quantity 3b to the 4th minus 4. And this, my friends, is how we do factoring by grouping. So I hope this has been somewhat helpful, just seeing the extra examples. And go do this and have some fun with it.